My friend John has a Triumph motorcycle which he's renovating, and this is the petrol tank from the machine. The tank is held onto the bike using 4 bolts here and 2 more at the top. Unfortunately, 2 of the bolts are missing, and the 2 that remained, the threads at the end are pretty messed up, which means they're barely usable. So I said I would have a shot at making him 4 new bolts. The original seem, I think, to be made out of stainless steel. I haven't got any stainless hexagon, but John's agreed that I've got some brass hexagon, and John said that that should be okay for this application. So I'm going to make them out of brass. A key question is, what is the actual thread form at the end of these bolts? And I confess I struggled to figure it out. But John managed to discover that in fact they are 5/16 British cycle thread, which is apparently was used in the motorcycle industry at one time, although I don't think it is any longer. The thread pitch is 26 threads per inch, but the other factor is that the thread form is not Whitworth, and in fact the thread form is a 60-degree thread rather than the 55-degree angle that you get with Whitworth. I've probably got hundreds of taps and dies in my collection, and to my surprise, I didn't even know I had this. I found that in fact I have got a 5/16 British cycle die, which is a stroke of luck, and as far as by the look of it, originally it had never been used either. It was brand new. Not surprising it had never been used, because I can't think why I would have ever used it, and I have no idea why I got it or where I got it from, but anyway. The original bolts and the standard for these bolts is 0.525 inches across the flats, and as I say, they seem to be stainless steel. I don't have any hexagon bar of that size in any material, and so John's agreed that I can give it a shot with some 1/2 inch across the flats brass, which I do actually have in my stock. I've no idea why, but I do. So that's what we're going to use. The length of the original bolts, as measured by my depthing gauge, comes in at a fraction under an inch. The major diameter comes out at about 0.34, and the outside diameter of the screw pitch is anywhere between about 0.29 and just under 0.3. According to the British standard for 5/16 cycle thread, the OD is supposed to be about 0.312, so I'm guessing a bit of wear has taken place on these, and I could imagine that the thread on the petrol tank maybe has pushed up a bit. So I think I'll make the threaded end a little smaller than the standard, perhaps 0.305, just to see how we get on. So I'll use my little depthing gauge to set the end of travel of the lathe tool for the overall length of the bolt, and then so that we repeat, I come around the other end with this kind of homemade stop on the saddle, so that now if we run up to that stop with every cut, the length of the bolt should come out the same. First cut to remove the hexagon. As we get to near the end, I'll disconnect the carriage feed and then just run it up by hand to the stop on the end of the 2, and then you probably can't see, but there's just a little gap, so if I now run the saddle up to that stop, the length should be the same. And there we are. Okay, at this stage in overall terms about 66 thou to come off of the larger diameter. Please excuse the terrible noise that brass makes. Taking about 40 thou, 20 thou speed. 40 thou total on this cut. 3 puff on it and 2 bites. I don't think these diameters are absolutely crucial anyway, really, to be honest. Okay, the length of the thread is about 1/4 inch, so if I slacken my stoppy thing off, put a bit of 1/4 inch steel in, tighten the stop. The tool has been just gently pressed against the face of the bolt, so if I now run up the length of the thread to this stop, the thread will be, give or take, 1/4 inch long. Rocket science this is not, and nor is it precision engineering. I've turned the small diameter to 0.306, which is approximately halfway between what the standard says at 0.312 and what the existing ones measure at anywhere between 290 and 0.3. So I'll just take the corner off. Just to give the die something to start on. I've got the jaws of the tailstock chuck set to just meet the inner diameter of the tailstock die holder, and then pressing the chuck against the work, irrespective of what the handle's doing, should keep the die square. So if we then proceed to turn and just feed in a little, the thread will begin to cut. The handle is just resting on the saddle, which just stops it turning round. Can't really do this one-handed, so I'll just finish this off. There we are, the thread running nice and true. I'll just give it a teeny undercut so the bolt will seat home. That should do it. Almost the last job. There is a 5/64 cross hole in the end of the bolt just to wire it on the bike to stop everything coming loose, as they always do on an old British bike. Just do this bit by eye, nothing very precise. The dot mark where we'd like the drill to go. And over to the pillar drill just to put the hole through. And there we are, that's the hole for the wiring to wire the bolt on. The hexagon head of the bolt is about 1/4 inch long, so just very roughly line that up, and we'll face it to length once it's parted off. There we go. Head of the bolt's about 35 thou too long, so we'll just take that off, face it off in 2 bites, about 20 thou to start. And the final 15 there. Should be there somewhere. Again, nothing critical about this at all, it's just a bolt. No power cross feed on my lathe, everything hydraulic. And there we are. Just around the edge. Job done. Two slightly knackered original stainless steel bolts on the right hand side, and hopefully 4 satisfactory replacement bolts on the left hand side. Proof of the pudding, the 4 new brass bolts mounted into the fixing holes in the underside of the petrol tank for the Triumph. I think in practice, and if I remember correctly, I used to have a Triumph, there are rubber bushes, cushioning bushes, which take up this length. If it's anything like the Triumph I used to own back in the day, vibration was a real problem. Anyway, hope John will be satisfied with that. Job done.